Hey everyone, welcome back to the Break Vape podcast, episode 48. I am your host, Tami Ernst. I'm calling this episode How Your Dreams Come True When You Get Into the Kitchen, and you will see what I mean by this later on. So let's dive in. If you need help to quit vaping, I have got your back and a proven plan. Just go to www.breakvapes.com. That's www.breakvapes.com to see what we offer here at Break Vape, or simply send an email to hello@breakvapes.com. As always, thank you guys for listening in from all over the world, for doing the work that I spark your curiosity with here on the show, and for emailing in your feedback. It is really cool to see you guys listening in from every single continent on the planet, except for Antarctica. And I'm not really sure why that is, but having listeners there will be a fun goal for the show. So how are you guys? I hope that you are all doing fantastic. Last week, we talked about decision fatigue, and I gave you some strategic tips on how to manage decision overwhelm when it comes to vaping. And naturally, of course, I want to challenge you to think about what you are going to do with all of your freed up mental capacity. For instance, what have you been wanting to do or waiting to do? What big things do you want to go after in your life? Or perhaps you just want to relax and take a mental break to reflect on self-care. What would that look like for you? As most of you know, if you have been listening to the show for a while, especially if you go back to the first, I would say, dozen or so episodes, you will know that I am a life coach and a former vapor. What you might not know, though, unless you've combed through the bio on my website, is that I also have a bachelor's degree in medical humanities from Baylor University. I also have an MBA with a focus in entrepreneurship, a yoga teaching certification that I got when I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter, and I also have a life coaching certification from Hell Yes Coaching. And shout out to my coaches over there, Becca Pike and John Richardson, and the whole team over at Hell Yes Coaching. I love you guys. I also love to cook. So the analogy here, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, is that when I was creating my How to Quit Vaping program that I teach now in one-on-one coaching, I was like a chef. I took the ingredients from all of my experiences and educational disciplines to come up with my own unique recipe for coaching myself and others on how to quit vaping for good. The skills I've learned along my journey are not taught to us in modern society as social norms. They just aren't. And in fact, we are actually taught to handle stress and anxiety by quote unquote coping with negative emotion by creating addictions from a very young age. So please hear me when I say that I had to dig for the skills that changed my life. I had to practice them. I had to embody them. I had to learn how to perfect teaching them. I had to invest in them. And guess what? It worked. My clients and I literally break our vapes and learn how to unapologetically create boundaries against vaping and big tobacco after years of being suckers. So back to the kitchen analogy. I want you to imagine for a second that the kitchen is the control center of your life and that the dish that you want to create is your vape-free life. And let me just tell you, my friends, that there is nothing sour or gross about my Break Vape recipe. In fact, the freedom that you will experience in your vape-free life will be one of the most delectable and honorable creations that you will ever make for yourself. I promise you that. Coaching with me is like having an expert chef in the kitchen, guiding you to use ingredients that you crave and desire to make the best possible dish for yourself, because I know how to coach you to use ingredients that you may have never even known existed before. These ingredients are made from lessons and worksheets, homework assignments, breakthrough sessions, permission, introspection, accountability, massive support, and a delicious variety of tactical things that we dive deeply into. And I want to really emphasize that the ingredients are not made from perfection. To my perfectionist friends listening, I get you. I really do. And so this bit is important for you especially. Listen up. Messy things happen in the kitchen. Sometimes we nick ourselves chopping and burn the food or even ourselves. I have a couple of scars on my wrist from literal oven burns all the way back from my college days when I was on my own and really getting into cooking for my friends and my neighbors. Messy is part of the process. Ask yourself this: what was the first thing you ever tried to cook all by yourself? And how did it turn out? Now think about how would it turn out if you used a proven recipe and kept tweaking it until it was the most delicious thing you have ever tasted. My thing probably would have been pancakes. I started cooking them when I was a kid, and they would be burnt on the outside and gummy on the inside, kind of like how they are when your pan is too hot. And a side note, just on the topic of pancakes, my 8-year-old daughter loves to make pancakes too, but we have an open flame stove. So I just bought her an electric griddle, and I'm so proud of her. She pretty much has her recipe down now after some necessary trial and error. I taught her to add vanilla, nutmeg, and cinnamon to her recipe and to use coconut oil instead of butter. But probably and most importantly to the process, I taught her how to process her frustration in a healthy way when she messes up. So that way, if she messes up and fails, she keeps trying. So it was actually just a few days ago that we used this griddle for the first time, and we made a mess. And she burnt her finger, not very bad, but enough for her to learn that yes, the griddle is hot. And then some of our pancakes fell on the floor and we had to start over. And it was a fun and tiny bit painful, messy, wonderful experience. And that is just life. You have to try and fail without beating yourself up, and then try again and keep at it and keep tweaking until you achieve your result. After all that, this morning was so awesome because my kiddo got herself up early before school and made her delicious pancakes from start to finish with very little help from me because we had put so much practice into it already. And she knew that if she messed up, she has the skills to start over and keep going. So my friends, get your bodies into the kitchen, okay? Get into coaching. Let me show you how to do this thing called living vape free for good. You can absolutely do it. And just to tie in the intro from this episode and tie in last week's episodes as well, this is very important. So hear me on this. I don't want you to quit vaping just for the sake of quitting vaping, although that is a healthy result. The point of quitting vaping is that there is so much more to living a vape-free life. And this is where so much of the life coaching aspect comes into my experience. For example, going back to decision fatigue, what would you do with all of your freed up mental space when you quit vaping? You guys, I've had clients start businesses, become writers, be more present with their kids, go after their dreams, and start practicing self-care in a way that they have never done before. It's amazing, and I want this for you. I want to see what you're capable of when vaping isn't holding you back, and that is the point of quitting. What's your dream? Send me an email and let me know. I can't wait to hear all about it and help you start going after it. You've got this, my friend. Just get in the kitchen and you will soon see the point of quitting show up in your life as one of the most magical and delicious experiences that you will ever have. Go to www.breakvapes.com, schedule your free strategy session today, and I will see you in the kitchen really soon, okay? That's it for now. I'll see you next week. Bye.